Welcome everybody to a new episode of Creating Magic. Today we got a new up-and-coming star in the world of Spongeball Magic. You might have already been accustomed to one of his releases with the insanely invisible retention vanish that we have recently released. We have the one and only Davide right here with us from Italy, tuning in on a Sunday.
Hi everybody. Hi everybody. What's going on?
So I got I prepared for you, David. Can I call? How should I say Davide?
Oh, sure. My name is actually Davide. So
Davide.
David is
Okay.
like people used to call me, but
No, Davide. I
I'm
like.
that.
I like. I like. So I got 10 questions here for Davide. I brought them nice on a whiteboard so I can wipe them out later. The first one is regarding your lecture in Japan. You had a recent lecture in Osaka, right?
Yeah. In August 2023.
Yep. I was just
So it
curious
was.
how the lecture went. How did it happen? How did you feel? Just talk about the lecture a bit.
Oh wow, there is a lot of stuff to say. It's like one of the most beautiful experience I had in Magic at all because I planned to do a trip to Japan, and it actually was cool. So I never been there. Italy, Japan is like one dreaming travel. No, the one you did one in your 20s. Okay, and I said, okay. I know there is I study a lot of Japanese artists. I like their kind of magic very.
True.
I like it.
True. I like it.
And yeah, from actually coin magic, so the big revolution of Sikh, so from Ponta,
Yep.
then every coin magician Japanese. And there is also a background, a backstory before this actual change. It was Dr. Sawa, it was even before. And I was so attracted by this kind of magic because it is so different from the European style, no?
True.
European style has the influence of Spanish, so it's strange to see, for one European to see Western, to see Oriental kind of style magic. So I said, okay, let's contact them to meet up. So some friends say, oh, you know him, and then actually I landed on one beautiful person, which is Magic Susie or Susie, that she contacted me, and we decided to do like a lecture in Osaka. In Osaka, I was in Kyoto in that time, so
Okay.
my trip was to Kyoto. And it was also funny because it was like in the period that Japan has a big typhoon passing by, and it was
Whoa.
like in Kyoto and Osaka at that time. So I said, wow, I'm like a lot of kilometers away from my home. I never been a typhoon because Italy is quite calm. No, we don't have this kind of stuff in Tuscany then. And I was also a bit like, okay, but then she showed up and with a beautiful helper, which is the translator and our guide to Osaka, who was David John, one beautiful tourist guide and magician that showed us all every piece of Osaka in the time we had. So it was fantastic. They organize everything. We did some meetup, but I cannot like be there. So another thank to them is that they organize everything. So a very to single detail. And one like 2 months before we start to do some advertising about it. So they start to publish on their profile,
Yep.
and I in that time I was translating my note to the lecture I was doing in Italy because I'm doing like every year like 5 or 6 lecture in Italy in some part,
Whoa.
and that's it. Yeah, I don't like to be like in a big circle like the one you did with the Magic Club. No, you have the artist and he travel to all the nation, but I like to organize it by myself. And clubs call me and say, "Do you want to?" Yeah, okay, and 5 or 6 because I'm not professional. And then in Japan, a lot of people showed up. I never thought about it. I said, "Wow, just market social." I don't believe it too much. And then a lot of people. Then another friend from Italy, another coin magician, which is Giacomo Bertini, called me and said, "My old friend Sanada-san is coming to see you." No, I say, "Wow!" Also Sanada, no, the mind behind the Sanada gimmick,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
said, "Wow, that's Sanada," no, and it was fantastic. And I have the translator, but sometimes my Italian is difficult to translate in English and also more difficult to translate in Japanese, no?
Yes.
So sometimes I see them at certain point. I remember the translator was not translating anymore because I was just talking, and I don't know if they understand me, but Italian with gestures. So he said, "It is like this." No, no, not like this, but like this. No, uh, and then it was so Italian as experience.
Beautiful.
But wow, from nothing that lecture and people like it, and I really enjoyed it. It was the first time. I need to be honest. It was the first time that after 2 3 days of the lecture, I was in another place. I think I was in Tokyo again because I was turning to Italy. And on X, on Twitter, ex Twitter, I was see the tag from Magic Susie and see people who was doing my retention vanish at the time, and
Whoa,
say
yeah.
say people, wow, they learned something from that, no? So I said, wow, I feel much more better than before now, no? I feel much more motivated to do my
Yeah.
style, my way on in Magic, let's say.
The retention
That was
vanish is just the gain that you have from such a simple thing. Like the visual aspect of it is so addictive, honestly.
oh wow, thank you.
It's one of those moves that you see once and you go, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna be performing that for the rest of my life. Yeah, I know that. That's
Wow,
it.
I feel so glad to hear that because as I was saying, you know, that component which is visual, which is like I think a lot. I study a lot of, as I said, of like Oriental Japanese kind of style, and they have a lot of this visual aspect in everything. They are so not theatrical, but their gesture is like
Gestures, yeah.
talking. It's very expressive, no?
True.
I,
Very
I,
true.
I see like coin students Yuki and I say, wow, I never see his face, but I seen a lot of streak and he's talking. For me,
Yeah.
it's like talk. My memory is different, and I find it very beautiful this stuff around. Just needed to. I felt the needed to study. So then that visual came to the approach also of these studies uh, to Spongeball Magic, which was very high in time before, no? Always so
Always.
close. You have to like open it a little bit. Also, another great guy of Spongeball Magic, Xulio Merino, and I seen that also in him, no? When
Yeah.
he show the ball, it's pretty open. He has very big hands, so he can do it. But it's also you see a lot of this. Okay, you are okay. It's open, no? It's not something that I
True.
see, don't see a crazy aspect, no? It's beautiful, I think. It's a lot of there's a lot to say about sponges.
It's a very unexplored area of magic, honestly,
Yeah, yeah,
because it's always been regarded as something to do only for children. And
yeah,
serious magicians or serious sleight of hand artists, they've never actually dabbled with SpongeBall slides, you know? And I think
yeah, yeah.
this is where Davide comes in.
Yeah, too much, too much. Not the first one to retake it,
True.
and I hope I'm not the last one. So there is a lot of guy which is working very hard about SpongeBob Magic right now, and I like it a lot. It's a beautiful niche of magic. Let's say I suggest it to everyone. It's beautiful. We have also very respect for each other, and we are like in 7 8 to do SpongeBob Magic to another style, and we are all different. I see my friend and say, "Wow, it's very beautiful, but it's so different." I see another, it's so beautiful, but it's so different again. You know? So it's strange. Huh?
Beautiful. I like that. Can you shout out
Yeah.
some people that do SpongeBall magic?
Oh, sure, sure. Pierre Poum. I was saying his real name, but his artist name is Pierre Poum, which is a big friend of mine, very big one. Also, Smay Ferrer, which is on Instagram. Wow, I'm talking with him right now, and it's so good. And the big one, Julio and Iago, which is like the first one I see, I say, wow, very cool stuff, no? For me, the biggest I've seen them. But also Gascon
Wow.
or another big mind in Spongeball Magic, which is Victor Mar, which is I think is the first who take over on the Spongeballs in 2010, like 2012, like this. So there's a big community around it. We don't talk too much, but we see each other on the screen.
Yeah. I'm gonna contact you afterwards so you give me the Instagram handles so I can put them
No, sure,
for
sure.
everybody. Now, moving on to question number two. Tell everybody how you started doing magic.
Oh wow. Oof. Let's say started doing magic. I don't actually remember. I was talking about it with Simon Black some years ago, no? And he said I asked him the same question, and now I feel to respond the same answer he did me.
Okay.
He did to me. Uh, is when, no? When the first time buy a deck of card, the first time you buy a coin, or the first time you never stop thinking about magic every second of your life. Actually, when you are okay, that's cool concept of magic, but I'm doing other stuff, no. So it's very difficult to collocate to the in a certain temporal point, no.
I think I
But
asked the
let's
wrong
say
question though, because
no, no,
it
actually.
wasn't when,
Uh,
not when. How did you start?
No. Oh, sorry.
Yes. No, I
I.
asked. I asked when. I wanted to say how.
Oh, sorry.
But I love your answer. I love your answer. I'm very
Oh,
happy I asked.
yeah, yeah. I was prepared about that. Now, how? Um, it's like when you have a lot of time and you cannot say, but actually it was like more than 10 40 years ago, like 1 4. I'm not good with number, an English number. Years ago, and from YouTube,
So that was it.
I'm one of these kids, but it was the YouTube start light the fire. There is a very few channels on YouTube that do magic, and they was like they search for stuff, and it was actually good, also in Italy, but worldwide. I still remember some of that channel's name, no, and some trick I've seen then I still feel the same emotion when I see them, or sometimes I
Yay.
go to rewatch it, because they were very good, at least not maybe not the best trick, not best method, but the way I felt when I was see them, I try to remade it. So I'm actually okay. Let's go to see again this video to feel the same and then translate it in another way, and like from YouTube. Then YouTube, at some point in my life, I was doing like magic for some nights here in Italy, but very little gig. Uh, what time one magician here in Italy was having like a little talent show on a little television, and I do it. I didn't win. My At that time I remember one of the judge about this like reality contest on
Mhm.
magic tricks talk about theory, and I said, wow, there is a theory behind magic, so it's not learning the trick, no. And then everything started. So it's like 7, 8, 9 years. I discovered that, and I was studying. From there, I start studying the theory about magic. Then I need to mix it with practice. No? So
Beautiful.
it's like YouTube, books, live event, and then wow, theory. I need more. Then emotions. No, it's like how a works grows, no? So the first time it was a little, and then grow up to the sky.
Yeah, what it is today. So you started taking magic as an art, treating it as an art at one point, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
That was it.
It was the the field of the art started in the pandemics, no? I've seen there was something about to express. I need to express it, but I was not sure it was if it was art or just my own subjective
Feeling.
needs. And then I start to see like very emotional stuff, very beautiful stuff, artistic stuff, but made for the screen, you know. And then I understand that there was that kind of magic, no? So like Kiko Pastur videos, no? And I say, wow,
Yeah.
so artistic, so sensitive. And okay, maybe we can work it out as an artist concept. So I need to feed my mind with art concept, you know. And then it evolves again, you know. It's beautiful. Magic is beautiful.
Magic is beautiful. Tattoo that.
Yeah.
So the next question would be why SpongeBalls? How did you start playing with SpongeBalls?
Ooh, okay. That was a very good question. Um, I wanna answer like with another quote from Mario Lopez, which is very
Okay.
beautiful, and it
Yes.
was the fuel. It was the fuel for my Spongeball Magic. No, I said it was saying that if you go looking for mushrooms, no, in where everybody goes looking for mushroom, you will find it, but really little one because the big is already taken by the other one. No? But if you go taking mushrooms where no one goes, maybe you don't find anything at most of the time. But if you find one, it has to be big because no one picked up. So Spongeball Magic, why? Because it was not studied. Because I said, okay, let's seek this element. Wow, cool. I was studying. I said, wow, there is nothing here. Very, very few. And I said, wow, okay, I need to discover. No, so I will study other thing, but
Mhm.
I create here. No, and that was like the sparkle uh, to think it as a technical evolution. It was with Exudio Merino when I see his first time gala, like the trick he did in Fulas. Sorry,
Okay.
with the bowl, with the very beautiful. I see a technique which was like a, wow, very wow. I said, okay, we can work it out also from a technical point of view. So then I took a mirror, which is always there in the kitchen. I had a mirror and technical stuff.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, 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 so good.
So, question number 4. How do you
Wow.
create? How do you come up with an idea?
Ooh. In this exact moment, you find me in a like in a little bit of block. So wow, this question means a lot of me right now.
The easiest way to
Usually,
answer this question is to take an example, a trick that you have created, and tell me how you created it.
okay, okay. Um,
Like the Fred Caps SpongeBob.
the one with the handkerchief and the
Yep.
kerchief.
Yeah.
It's always different. um, it comes from actual an inspiration from Fred Capps. Like I've seen a YouTube old video, like old videotape free, and I was saying I need to feel how he moves because everyone is talking very well about Fred Capps, no? Like one of the biggest mind in magic in the last century. But actually, I never see them because I'm younger
Yeah.
than him. He's dead before I was born. So I was thinking and thinking, and I find this video and I start to look at it. It was a little trick when you use an handkerchief and one silver coin and one half silver and half copper. And he made actually very similar trick, but using the half ball, the half coin. And I thought, wow, it's beautiful, but the camera was up, no? And wow, it's beautiful, but I don't need the camera up. I can also do it like frontally. I use Spongeball, so I study a lot the dimension of the sponges. No, you need to have very impressed in mind that is a 3D object. The coin is like 2D,
Yep.
so it's different. No, and then I search for a method. The method comes from the study of pattern method.
So,
So I study a lot of card magic, a lot of coin magic, a lot of stuff, and actually I search for the method that fits the moment because I'm like as you can see I like a lot the technique in magic, doing a well studied technique, but sometimes it is my worst part because I think in from a technical point of view, but I need to focus on the trick. So I just
cool.
pick from one of the method and then I okay of it create a sensation. This method, no, not this method, this effect, but the method is okay with the sensation is created, and I say no, okay, I need to change. So just step by step, but having some like inside of me a way. I know already the way I need to pass to create a trick. No, the worst part is having an idea. You need to feel something that you say, "Wow!" You see something live or in video, so you have to also focus, no, and say, "Okay, now I'm feeling magic. I feel something I never felt. I like it. Okay, I need to translate it in magic. No, I need to just say my version of that emotion in magic, and then the trick come up. Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's not very pragmatical. It's something inside my mind. I try to explain it, but I'm a bit chaotic.
I thought it was very well put together, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you combine the pragmatical part, like how you go step by step and you analyze,
Yeah, yeah.
with the philosophical part. So I think it was pretty good. So a very short one, straightforward one after four that were pretty
Okay.
long. Tell me your top five tricks that you perform, because you're also a performer.
Oh yeah, I will say my top three, and the first one is the card in the pocket from Carlisle, which is a trick I'm very connected with. I love it, but just with two parts, just the one which is in the book of Star Magic,
Okay.
because I felt it's okay like that, not the I don't think it can work. I read it and I say it can work. Then I see Gauchman and say, wow, it works. I don't know why, no? And I'm studying why it collides and why. So for me, it's very difficult. Usually, I do a routine which is very similar, the same concept of the transportation of like triple I, let's say, and it ends in the end of spectator. But for me, it ends because there is no follow up of this action. So not do it again. No, the charge in the end of spectator. For me, it's just one because I felt very strong. And but Goshman do one, and then he do it again, and it is better. The second one is better, and I say why. So for me, it's very difficult to understand, not technical, but the trick. So it's too difficult. I think it like was a superpower of Goshman, not because the trick could work.
I think the charm, the personality of the magician can
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
do that.
It is very very strong, but I don't know why. No, you know, magic has some kind of point of the subject, no, so the is charm, how is it, but there is in every trick also a base, and I feel it like it is not climatical, no, it's not a climax,
Yeah, true.
it's anti-climax. So I say uh, it was so strong. Oh, there is another thing in that trick, no? So very strange.
Beautiful. I did not expect this type of answer. I'm so happy I asked you. Lovely.
No, because the technique, the strange technique you have seen, I do it a lot. So they are easy for me, very easy. But they're easy in general, but for me it's very easy. So like the trick, I think with that I would not say that because it's like the way or the way I think. So I go with that path.
That's the most natural path for you.
Yeah, the most natural. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't come
Yeah.
up with the words.
Number 7. Tell me a time when you failed and what did you do?
A time I fail. I'm actually very concerned about that. Like I do a lot of lecture, and when you f up your trick in a lecture, you have to convince the other that you are like selling, because I'm not selling. I'm just explaining it, but I'm selling something good. So I need to be like trustable. So
Yeah.
I try. There is a, I don't want like say it and then it happens, but it's a lot of time I don't shit anything of my trick with sponges. But sometimes it happens that I was like more tired, and one spectator said, "Wow, what I know where you hide the ball, no?" Because I was doing like the a very simple count, 10 count, no? I know
Yeah.
where you hide it. I said, okay, you know where I hide it? Okay, let's try. And then I start to a lot of strange, like throwing ball on the arms or just doing a lot of strange stuff. And say, now you know it? No, okay, let's go another spectator then. It was not very good, but I did. It was my fault because I need to do more in the first part. No? If she said like that, I was in error. But as I said, I was tired, so my reaction was not like very good, and I reacted, let's say, in a passive aggressive way. But it was just one
But
time. I'm not that kind of man.
think about it this way. If that spectator wouldn't have told you that, you probably would have performed in the same way and
Oh
more
yeah,
people would have seen, you know?
yeah, yeah. That was good. Yeah, it was a good reaction for the other person. I maybe challenge a little, but also slide in it, so I can do it like a very tiny, tiny, tiny. So yeah, I did the best because of her.
I think I think you did well, man. Number 8. Top 3 people that inspire you.
Okay, yeah,
It can be
topic,
magic
probably,
magic people or outside of
okay.
magic.
Outside, okay. I would say I'm very into the magic universe because I like it. And I would say the first one I think is Gabi Pareras, which is like an aura. No, I read a lot of them and I reread a lot of his books. his lecture notes, and every time is like having a conversation with a friend. I never meet him. He didn't know I was existing. I'm existing before he died, and but for me it's like having a mentor which I had after he died. So I start to read and I find some very inspirational stuff there. Also in his life, it was like wow. He loved magic very very much, and I say wow, I will love it like him. No, and then also Goshman, which was like wow, Goshman. Uh, one of the I think one of the biggest mind and hands in magic of the still magic ethics, because one he was so smooth doing very simple stuff for that time. I think it was very very superb to see, like one experience lifetime. You say magic, wow. And the last one, I would say my actual like fuel, because when I feel down or feel lack of idea, I have like a comfort artist, which I see a lot of stuff, also video, which is Michelangelo Gea. And wow, I feel nothing. I say I don't want to work on this trick. I don't like this. My stuff sucks. I see something over here. I say, wow, that shit is so good. I need to do it. Okay, what do you use? Wand, coin. Okay, coin. No, with sponge. Let's try do it again. And then I start. My mind start to work, and I go to another thing, and so it's very an inspiration for me. It works, and it's personality.
Beautiful.
Wow, I love it.
Tell me the last book that you read.
Oh, haha. I'm reading. I will take it from for you because it has a strange title. Here I am. It was this one, which is called Il mondo incantato, quindi like the fabled world, and is a book by Bruno Bettelheim, which is a person who worked with a disabled kid from a psychological point of view. And this whole books is about the importance, the use, and the meaning in relation with the psychology to the I don't know what to say in English. I don't remember like the story, kid story. Let's say the fable, like Hansel and Gretel, like this stuff. No, Little Red Hood. So it's a book that explain why and how it works for kids, so for spectators sometimes, about the meaning of this fable. And it's so beautiful because you find a lot of meaning. You say, wow, so if I use this element in this way, and maybe it can mean for the spectator, because I'm thinking about the magic whole stuff. So I'm reading that, which is another thing, thinking about magic at the same time. But I say, wow, it could, if I understand, then I can make it understand to people, and so beautiful also. Then. So it's il mondo incantato.
Number 10, the last question,
Oh,
the
we
most
already finished.
important one.
Yeah.
Tell me, Davide, how do you define magic? What does magic mean to you?
Wow. I can not have an absolute definition, but to say in very few words, uh, magic for me is a way to make the spectator feel what I felt sometimes. So if I felt something beautiful, the first thing that comes to my mind is how I can make the spectators think. So it is a vehicle, like a vehicle of communication, and not just communication, just to not for the communication itself, not for marketing, but for what I felt. So it's a way of transmit what I felt to the spectator, which is very very I can say a lot of more about that because it's like one of the main point in which I arrived recently. And for understanding it, I needed to like distance myself from magic for a bit, for like 2 months. It was hard, but when I retake the sponge, the coin in my hand, the first thing I was thinking was, okay, I in this time I felt like that. Why? Because of that. And which was that? Was like a surprise or some relief? And I say, wow, it was kind of relief. So I want to build up the tension in spectator, and then relief, like the time I felt that. And ta-da, the idea is here. You just need to place the right piece of method and magic. But what I felt is there, and I like to transmit. So it is the thing that permit me to make the spectator feel what I felt.
Very important. I think this is the first time
Yeah.
that this is the first time I interview somebody and they say they think so much about transmitting the feeling that they felt and analyzing it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
finding a way to actually pass it forward.
It's so personal. My magic, I'm not a professional, so I have another job. I'm like I need to do the exam to be a lawyer. So I'm doing other stuff in my life, but magic, so I can be really free in magic. No, I don't know if you ever read One Piece, but when at the last
Yeah.
part, when okay, you are, I don't want to spoiler, but sometimes a character says, "This is me at the maximum of my freedom." So for me, magic is like that. I'm free to, and I start to, from where I can be free, from what? No, so from my inside to from my outside to my inside, so I can like free myself and let's say this is beautiful. I want to transmit you. So it was good. Sorry,
Well,
I talk about a lot of internal structure of me, and but for me it is magic. It's a part of me now.
I think that's the thing that you can't really get from books. You know, it's exactly what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
And I do want to ask you a question based on what you said. If somebody is, how can somebody that is a magician find that thing that makes them feel free, like you just said? How can people
Oh.
search for that?
It is painful to get freedom is always painful a lot because you have to like wow, I have this beautiful technique, I like doing magic because of the technique, so you have to take this beautiful technique and trash it because it was binding you to technique, no, you don't trash it because you already when I do a technique it is smooth because I already internalize that, but then I need to throw it off, so it's painful because I love it, I work it out a lot, no, you have the abs like six pack and then you say okay I need to trash it, then wow I'm reading a lot of books, I have a lot of tales, story plot, okay, but if I do the same story plot the same I'm copying, so I need to trash it.
Always at the end, I leave it to the person that I'm interviewing to say anything they want. So this is your moment to just pass a
Oh,
piece of information to everybody that is watching.
and I would like to like invite everyone to not fear the technique because sometimes the first like wall we find in looking for a better magic is the technique. No, I say I can do this technique, and I will not do this trick. I will do another thing because it comes up the same. Yeah, actually it is, but I invite you to overcome this obstacle just because not only the technique is not something impossible every time you I start from a guy who cannot handle a coin, and I was showing that retention measures, wow I cannot do it, I will never be able, then I train like a lot, I need to say like a lot, but then one day I woke up and I say wow now I can do it. Wow. And from that moment to from the moment it changed my life because it started with technique. Then I moved to something I create, a technique I created, which was difficult. It was like catapult, no? So it was difficult. and I say I cannot do it in to the spectator, and then I do it because I train it. And from that point to the future, everything like was going down easily. So the first wall to break is to break the technique. Then you will not need because you need to trash it because it's something you bear, but you have to open that door. So just give time to magic. Train. It's simple, but not because you have to do it perfect. Just because the will of train. After that door, everything is so easy. It's beautiful. Magic start to have a meaning. So you can like really enjoying what you're doing, not just the way magic make you feel, but the magic you are creating. So this is different, I think, from starting magic and going having a long trip with magic. No, the first time when you do magic, like little gig, you love the way magic make you feel, and you feel important, which is okay. But then you arrive at a point that you love the magic because the people feel that, and it was beautiful. So it is beautiful. To overcome that, to reach that point, you have to go to the door, through the wall of technique, and do it. Just give time to magic.
Thank you, Davide. That was our episode of Creating Magic with the SpongeBall Rising Star, Davide. Tune in, guys.
Here I am.
Following
Here I am.
episodes are going to happen with more amazing magicians. So make sure to check them out. Much love to Davide. Make sure to catch his releases on Big Blind Media as well, all in the description below. We're going to be tagging Davide's Instagram as well. So make sure to spam his inbox with a lot of love. And I'll see you guys in the next
Sure,
episode.
sure. I'm happy.